morning and welcome to 6 Feet Apart. I love my family, my husband Luke and my 2 girls, Emma and Abby. I love a great meal with friends, a good cup of single origin coffee, and dark chocolate. I love watching the flowers I have labored over in my yard grow and produce beautiful arrangements for my house. And I love working hard and being told I've done a good job, or finding something that has somehow missed everybody else's attention and saving the day. And despite all of this goodness, I'm always left wanting more. What gives you satisfaction? As we read the Psalms and meditate on their meaning, we're often confronted with the question, where do I go for safety, security, joy, satisfaction, for help? Where do I personally find answers to what I'm searching for? Fortunately, we're not left to ourselves to wonder. God in His generosity has given us everything we need to know in His Word. In Psalm 16, David addresses some of these very questions, and he points us to the Lord as the answer. Where do you turn for security? What satisfies you? And what does blessing look like to you? Today we're going to focus on Psalm 16. Psalm 16 says, "Preserve me, O God, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. As for the saints in the land, they are the excellent ones, in whom is my delight. The sorrows of those who run after another god shall multiply. Their drink offerings of blood I will not pour out or take their names on my lips. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Indeed, I have a beautiful inheritance. I will bless the Lord who gives me counsel. In the night also my heart instructs me. I have set the Lord always before me. Because He is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad, and my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure. For you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." David begins this psalm by proclaiming it is God who holds us secure. Nothing good exists outside of His hand. It is so important that we preach to ourselves the truth about God. The practice, the repetition of going back to the truth over and over writes it on the very being and fibers of our heart. God is sovereign. He reigns and rules, but He is also benevolent. He is generous with His blessings. James says it this way, "Every good and perfect gift comes down from the Father of lights, in whom there is no variation or shadow due to change." God gives us good gifts, and He's always the same, meaning we can know what to expect from Him. Every good thing is from God. God's people are to live holy, set-apart lives that attract those far from God to draw near to Him. Jesus said in the book of John, "If you love me, you will do what I command." And in doing so, we are set apart from those who run after other gods. This psalm tells us that sorrow multiplies when we try to find satisfaction apart from God. Do you seek the gift, the accolades, or the giver? Is God just there for you to get what you want? Do your prayers sound like, "God, if you will just do this, I will be good forever, I promise"? Or do you realize that He is the ultimate gift? You see, the Bible tells us God is our reward. David writes that He is our portion, our cup. He is a beautiful inheritance. Do you think about God this way? Is He enough? Do you just want more of Him, or are you constantly after what you think He can get you? See, God is after our hearts, and He wants a personal relationship with you. He made us for relationship with Him. And I think it's interesting that instead of giving us a list of to-dos and to-don'ts, David focuses on what is, or rather, knowing who God is. See, knowing God changes how we interact with Him in the most profound ways. The psalm goes on to say that it is the Lord who gives us counsel. Have you ever been lost, confused, or wondered what to do? I'm sure you have. God gives us counsel. He cares about what we do. He is personal. He didn't create us and let go. He's intimately involved in our lives. But a lot of times when we need help, we run to people for advice. And that isn't inherently wrong, but what if you went to God first? What if you chose to quietly meditate on His word and listened rather than just speaking to Him? When we do this, He is near us, and He is our strength. He's at our right hand directing us. It's just like Psalm 1 that says, "Those who meditate on His law day and night are like a tree planted by the water, and it's not easily moved because it has established roots." So how are your roots? Are they well watered, deep and strong? Or are they weak and shallow and able to just be blown away by any sorrows that come along? When we're in His word, meditating and learning to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, He, through His word and spirit, instructs us. He meets us. It's like He's actually just right there with us, directing our steps. So knowing all of this should cause us to get really excited. I mean, think about it. When is the last time you celebrated who God is and that He is with you, not just what He's done? We often will say, God, thank you for answering my prayer. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when have you rejoiced over who God is? Stop and think with me for a minute. God is the God of the universe. He's our provision, and He holds us securely. He's merciful, gracious, slow to anger, faithful, steadfast in love, and just. He's our counsel. He is a personal God. He gives us wisdom and is with us. Because of this, because of Him, we're secure. And the Word says we're immovable. Paul says, "What can man do to me?" Jesus says, "Nothing can take us from Him." And again, Paul says, "Nothing can separate us from the love of Christ." This is really a big deal, not just kind of a big deal. A big deal. It's like the umpire yelling safe when the runner slides into home. It's done. It's over. God has given us the way to life, abundant life. See, Jesus didn't come to give us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as much as we might like to think He did. We will have trials, but Jesus Christ has overcome. He gives us Himself. He is the way. His presence. Imagine with me the most perfect joy, peace, pleasures forevermore. This is God's presence. It's not chasing after the wind. The joy does not diminish. We were made for Him. And when we delight in Him, and I mean truly delight, going after, seeking Him with everything we've got, and find fulfillment in Him, He gives us the desires of our heart, which is Himself. In His presence, there is fullness of joy, complete joy, lacking nothing. And at His right hand is pleasure forevermore. It's everlasting. Look no further. Everything else we chase will fade and diminish and lead to sorrow. But our joy in God never will. Have a great day.